And we're back with the passing show and Harrowings Live with Hal Gill, your host. Just getting to the familiar territory. Anybody who's been on the passing show before would know that we are outside a Thai chef near Rose Marina d'Italia, across from Chocolate City Wellness and the Signature Lounge. Coming up on Emerson Clinical Research Institute, Brighter Image Eye Exam Place, and Bombeca's Cafe, the former home of Bethesda Bagels, which closed up shop some time ago. You get cheesesteaks there, wraps, tortilla soup, it looks like. Across the way, there's the boardroom, European Wax Center, Nails by District. They abandoned my own pizza for this reason, headquarters. And then there's the abandoned bank over here, Golden Age. And got a fair amount of information in the newsroom, Jumbo Slice. Just a little bit of who, what, when, and where. We are taking in the passing show, heading up through my neighborhood. I was thinking of going a different route, but I think we're going to go this way and end up north of the McClellan Monument, which I can see up at the top of the street there in front of what was at one time part of the Russian delegation's facilities. I think their trade union. Universal building under construction. Big cranes gracing our skies. This renovated Georgian Revival mansion for sale. Been for sale for quite some time. Mixed use zoning, 3 separate entrances, parking. Not moving. 16,504 square feet approximately. Traffic on Florida Avenue. The yard of the Friends Meeting House visible. And then the Albanian Embassy. Rostamp Trash, WB Waste Solutions LLC. Just adding to the data glut. Embassy Moldova, next door to the home of the bunker, my abode and workspace. Really getting overrun with stuff. Got to cut out some of it at some point. Call the library, move it out to the little free library provided by the Romanians of DC. Lucy and Stephen Hawking, George's Cosmic Treasure Hunt. That looks interesting. Anyway, I'm not going to get it. Monson Sin is 202-322-3558, selling the unit at the end of my little cul-de-sac garden. Right angle to the entrance to the bunker. It's a 3-story room on top of room construction. Very nice piece of property in many ways. Only $1,050,000. I'll take it off the market. Lynn and I really can't use it. Too many stairs. And onward. Gonna go uphill here a little distance. Get us a little bit of altitude. It's a good incline, gentle slope. Gonna be coming back to the car by 3:30 to go pick up Lynn. But for now, we're getting a little exercise, putting a few steps behind us, burning off the egg and cheese and granola fruit and yogurt that I consumed a little bit ago. Some folks talking by the International Realty there. All right. neighbors' vehicles parked on the street, some parks in their driveways. Watch one step out of here. Too easy to fall on the sidewalks. One of the jobs I have, I think, is moving little bits of reality from one place to another. Everything is connected to everything else. So I don't know what you all are up to. Doesn't seem like anybody is even tuned in. But if you do, you can see what, who, what, when, and where here in Washington, D.C. at this particular point in time. It is July 8th, 2026. It's the day after the first anniversary of my, or I should say second anniversary of my mother's fall that landed her in the hospital for the better part of July until she could be moved on the 30th to Charter Senior Living, a big project. On it goes. Mitchell Park is having films. August 20th and September 11th yet to come. Mitchell Park, one of the nicer features of the neighborhood. Across the way, the embassy would allow People's Democratic Republic residents of the ambassador from Laos. They sold the building next door, which has been repainted. Looks like it's going to have its driveway repoured soon. They've got some rebar down there to catch the concrete over the gravel. It's been laid in. I don't know whose house it is, but I guess it'll be taken. I'll be taking possession of it sooner or later. Little house next to it used to be the home of the Irish ambassador. He moved out, and you can see the wear and tear up there. Here's a little painting. It looks like there's a fair number of contractors' vehicles out front getting ready to do work on that. So somebody must have acquired it. And next door to that is the Embassy in Myanmar, former home of Herbert Hoover. It looks like Rick Lee, words, sound, memories has joined. Good to have you with us. Thanks for that. The Chinese ambassador's home is here. They get my mail sometimes and I never give it back. So, not real happy with the Chinese ambassador for that, but I guess he doesn't care. 2103 is my number, his is 2301, so you understand how it could happen. But they do have nice lanterns up, and their plantings are often beautiful. Being the People's Republic of China, I guess they can get away with that without much trouble, as I mentioned. Comfortable abode for the ambassador of China. Next door to this is the double mansion. It belongs to Jeff Bezos, his DC digs. Hearing a little noise in the back. And this building and the one next to it were gutted and redone. And I understand it has 25 separate bathrooms. I'm not sure why anybody would need 25 bathrooms, but Jeff Bezos apparently does. There's his driveway. It's a lot of surveillance, just like me surveilling. And what else do we got? And we got Blue America's joined. That's nice. Hi. And there's the Woodrow Wilson House and Museum. Big part of our neighborhood is having these historic homes where Elizabeth, what was her name? Can't remember her name. Mrs. Wilson. She was a Galt. She lived there until 1964, if I'm not mistaken. She passed away and became the President Woodrow Wilson House. He had seen out his last years there before being buried at the National Cathedral. Last I checked, he was The only one of our presidents buried there, but I think they may have buried some others there since. Not sure. Islamic Republic of Mauritania residence. The ambassador would be here. And next door to that, the embassy of Pakistan's residence. So the Pakistani ambassador would be here. Next door to them is the residence of the Dutch ambassador. And I don't know whose residence this is, but it's a very lovely building. And the one next to it also private. So far as I know, big American flag outside that one, so I suppose it's somebody who's American. Whereas this one is Dutch. And they've got the red, white, and blue streamers to help celebrate. But their colors are also red, white, and blue. Red on top, blue on the bottom. Different than France, which is vertical stripes. Different than Russia, who also have red, white, and blue. And there's the Ukraine flag, shows solidarity with the Ukraine among the Dutch. I don't know what the Dutch have supplied to the Ukraine, but we might do some research on that. Might write about it later on harrowings, because I find the whole Ukraine war situation pretty harrowing. I don't know how many of you caught the gaffes that our president had in his conversation with the ambassador, or with the president of the Ukraine, rather, today, July 8th, when they had a call to discuss the peace process, possible ceasefire. I don't know. I hope it comes about in spite of everything. I'm going to cross here on 24th and S and go up 24th Street a ways. Is it just getting the steps in, left foot in front of right foot, hi from Blue America? Well, thank you very much for that. Hand wave. If you have questions or comments, I'm always willing to listen. Though I don't read the comments much while walking and doing these little walking speed tours of the glories of DNA that happen in front of us, from plant life, fungal life, archaea, bacterium, bacteria, not just a bacterium, there are lots of them, and viruses and phages and all of this life going on around us all the time. It's the residence of the Cypriot ambassador, I think. Oh, wait, is this Cyprus? Yeah, I think so. They're flying both the Cypriot flag and the flag of the EU. Hot out here in the sun. I'll probably drop through that. The Slovakian ambassador's house is up the way. Oh, we're at Bancroft now. I could head that way, could head this way, I'm not sure. I'd like to stay in the shade as much as I can, and this time of day it's kind of hard to find shade. I think we'll skip over Bancroft. Too much of that'll be in direct sunlight. Gonna head up here. 1900 24th Street. It's really beautiful. Double porch. Not sure who lives in that. You can just about guarantee that most of the residences here are occupied by people who are pretty well heeled. And uphill. It's always good. Concrete lions gracing 1908. Tracy Place. We'll turn on Tracy. Whew, my legs are tired, getting more tired all the time. See the direct sunlight coming in here and there. I used to regularly attend a meeting based in at noon, Key West, Florida. If I walk in along here, noontime to 1 o'clock, and I successfully managed to get myself banished from that. It's not uncommon. I would recommend everyone do inventory, but that doesn't go over so swift. Other people like to make you their problem, and vice versa. So it is. If you spot it, you got it. There's also the principle of enantiodromia, which means the tendency of a thing to become its opposite. Day becomes night becomes day, and drunk becomes sober. It's a rise and fall agricultural motif most of us are involved with. I believe that's the Gabonese Republic's residence. So the ambassador from Gabon has that house here on Tracy Place. This is also a neighborhood where Ted Kennedy lived up until his demise in D.C. Just about everybody who is anybody has a place in D.C. Ted's looked a lot like the White House, I hear. I don't know which one it was, though. Still unsure of that. But it's okay. It is what it is. This little compound shares a driveway. Across the street is a duplex, and another duplex, and yet another. I think maybe a duplex, maybe a single family home. That one's actually sort of a triplex. Nice architecture, though. Most of these homes are older. This is probably the one that Kennedy was in. I'm not positive, though, but I think maybe it's white. Tillerson had a house here. He was Secretary of State. I'm sure he moved that on. There's obviously some construction going on in the neighborhood. I'm coming up on Colorama right now. There's Belmont down the way. Belmont's blocked off at this corner down below. So I'm not going to bother trying to go in that direction. I have a little memorial to Sandra Day O'Connor and Eleanor Roosevelt and Frances Perkins, who was Labor Secretary under Roosevelt. These are women of influence. They were here, and this was put up a while ago. We're going to walk down this way. I thought there used to be a monument out of Kaishek on one of these, but I can't remember where that is. This place is definitely being redone. I think they had a fire. The other one down here had a fire. Yeah, this one actually kind of smells fiery. Weird. Get away from that smell, that's for sure. Up until fairly recently, the home just 2 doors down here was the home of Chris Wallace, the correspondent, Mike Wallace's son. He was complaining about the parking problems that were generated by Ivana and Jared Kushner moving into the neighborhood. I think they had a place right up around the corner. Not that corner, I don't know. Can't remember. But it doesn't matter. Another fire affected this building over here that got a kind of a Ryman, oh, what is it called? I can't read it from here. Some kind of polyglass um, covering on the roof now. where it had a fire, but at least the brickwork remained intact and the stone walls. It's a big fire. Really gutted the whole place, apparently. So this thing thoroughly redone. But I love the fact this brickwork is still intact. It's steel there. Very sad about it burning. Neighbors, too, I think were affected on either side to some extent or another. On this side, not so much. 2446. And trying to remember, one of these was for sale not too long ago. Maybe it was one next door to this. But I love how the steps go up Arcadia 2440 Colorama Road. Around here, you can see this house. Got a little Mini Cooper in the drive. 2425, made of stone. And then the oldest house in DC, shipped down as 6 rail cars from Massachusetts. I used to know the name of it, I forgot. But it's there. Very large house, historically important. I don't know who has that now. And this one, it's half timbering on the upper part. Yeah, the neighbors are well off for the most part. There's Colorama Circle. I'm not going to bother walking around the circle. We're going to stay on Colorama, take it around to Connecticut Avenue. I think I'm doing well on time. 2:31 and a half. Not another hour. But I need to head back to the house. And at this point, I'm probably 15 minutes from the house. Heading towards it as I cross 24th Street again. We were walking up 24th earlier. We've gone from the space between R and S on Connecticut Avenue, up S Street, up 24th, as far as Colorama Circle. That's the other end of Colorama Circle there. Backside of that includes the home of President Obama, former president of the United States of America. Yeah, his presidency is something to look at. The French ambassador's residence on the other side of the street begins at this corner at this property. It stretches on up. Got a no trespassing sign there, in case you get any ideas about scaling its fence. Wouldn't be the easiest thing to do anyway, considering its spikes. Short Landscaping, 301-897-3503, has been doing some work for these guys, I guess. Got a little bronze sculpture of a little girl in the garden. That's nice. 2310 Colorama Road. And on it goes. Getting a little more incline now, a little curve in the road. Got some definite landscape work going on for the French ambassador. Someone left a turd there for us. Say that was a big dog, metaphorically or literally. And onward. Definitely got the no trespassing signs up. There's you got to look at the landscaping. Another the big dog turd dropped on the sidewalk, not picked up by the owner. Privilege. There's our copy of the Statue of Liberty out front of the French ambassador's home. This is the Thai ambassador's place. Mexicans across the street, Portuguese coming up. Just keep on moving. Lots of work going on. Again, shore landscaping at work. Good for them. And lots of beautiful hydrangeas, blue ones, pink ones, various shades. I don't get out here enough. I should do more of this. I should do a walk every evening through the neighborhood, commenting on current events like the war in Ukraine. Turn back around to Ukrainian house, just coming up on the other side. You see the many flags flying there. It's remarkable to me that since the outbreak of hostilities during the administration of Joe Biden, that the Ukrainians have held out. War deaths off the charts. French ambassador's driveway and the Portuguese ambassador's house next door. Building here, I understand, belongs to the Chinese embassy and provides housing for the Chinese embassy staff. And over here, 250th anniversary of the United States of America being celebrated alongside Ukrainian independence, which they're trying desperately to maintain. You can see the sliding board there, perforated by fragments, shrapnel, a reminder of the costs of war. And I want everyone to keep that in mind as we watch the passing show and remember that everything we do, every cent we spend, is a vote for the kind of world we are co-creating. Every action has an impact, and we collectively can move the needle as trim tabs on the ship of state, if we only will, trim tabs of human culture, globally speaking. And we can be good ancestors for not only ourselves, but all life that shares its time with us on the planet. You can see so many different varieties of plants and animals as we move along that are the product of 4 billion years of this planet orbiting the sun, more or less. Not sure exactly what moment life began, but it's pretty old. And it's gotten to this stage now. It's all led up to this. As I like to say, everything is led up to this moment. And for this, we who are living on our brief lives as splashes on the surface of eternity, we are responsible for our actions, voluntary and involuntary. We should be mindful of that. We should be awake and aware of the choices we are making and try to be good ancestors. As mentioned, we are down to 57% power, so I think we'll continue across the bridge. But I got time to go to the zoo? I don't know. I think probably I should turn around about 2:45, which might just be meaning leaping onto the bridge across the way, the Duke Ellington Bridge back into Adams Morgan. I could swing by, but I don't think it's going to be open. Tiny Vinyl, my friend Ty's shop, and I think it'll be closed. I might take a walk later tonight, though. The weather isn't awful as it was last week around this time. We are starting to touch temperatures close to 100, as I recall. Got an ambulance down the way, and here I have to hustle it up. Yep, got it. You never know what you might see on the passing show. There's the National Cathedral in the distance where Woodrow Wilson's remains remain now. And across the way, Rock Creek Park, which we're going to be crossing. It's good to get out and do a little sweating. Watching the skies for passing jets. Not seeing any at the moment. Air traffic seems to be kind of quiet. Looks like we have a monument to someone here. Justice for Armando, peace to his soul. Repatriate his body, seek justice for his case. Norberto Cinabria Mesa. Norberto Armando Cinabria Mesa. I don't know if that might be a spot where somebody did themselves in. And they may have expatriated his body. If so, I don't know. But we'll see. It's my thought that that may be what that's about. One could look it up. Taiwan. Huh. I think that's what that was advertising. It's hard to tell from the font on the bus. On the bus. Just my bridge back to my neighborhood. And I take the way through the woods there on the other side. Get out of the sun once I'm across the bridge. It's not hard to do. They're taking in the passing show. You'll notice the long fence here, which is to prevent suicides on the bridge. They're going to be redoing both sides in time. They've already taken down a lot of what was on the other side, making it higher, I suppose, and less apt to encourage folks who want to throw themselves over. Have another fire truck coming up. High speed. Engine number one, the west end. Whatever's happening must be big. I hear other sirens maneuvering in. Sounds like one may be coming down Calvert to join in on whatever the activity is. Definitely something way over there. And up here, they're trying to get through. Can't be too careful out here, folks. Always an emergency. It looks like that's a hook and ladder truck. It's getting into position. Got a lot of traffic on Rock Creek Parkway. Down below, the passing show continues. The Rock Creek itself flowing through. Yeah. Who, what, when, and where. That's what we do here on the passing show. Recording history as it happens for potential use for research historians of the future. Primary documentation, folks. Raw, unedited footage. Sounds like this one's coming along. There it is. It's like a medical vehicle. A fire marshal is heading in to join the fray. And another couple of cars coming down alongside Rock Creek Parkway. That's Cathedral Avenue coming down underneath the bridge. Does look like something big is going on. The grind got a win. So our emergency forces are in situ. Ambulance coming around. This car pulled over here. Must be a good accident or something. It's just happened. We're coming upon the scene. So our thoughts are with whoever's involved in hopes that it's not too tragic. It looks like beginning to see something coming into view. Firefighters, scratching my head a little bit, not sure what's going there. So they're pulling their hoses back. They had a little fire in this construction vehicle building, perhaps. Doesn't look like that's the case. I'm seeing something rising up there. It looks like smoke. They're investigating. Special operations is in place. Firefighters retreating to their vehicles. Still accumulated there. Yep, definitely something happened with that little construction vehicle, construction building. I don't even know what's going on there. I haven't been over this way in a long time. Hoses being taken back to engine number one. Well, they rolled out. Yeah, the end of it burned. Oh, Will's number two is letting us know that it wants to move, I think. It's got some hoses actually laid across there. One of the hydrants, looks like. Gotta watch my step. Almost tripped. Yeah, that truck, number nine, has put out its hoses. This one is dragging its hoses over, and engine number one is over on the corner. Nothing to worry about much. Looks like they reacted in a timely manner to a fire that broke out in a construction trailer. Its purpose is unknown. Things do happen. They do. Okay, so that was exciting. Nancy Thames has joined. We had a symbol join, Roger Scott. Okay, Blue America. Not a lot of others. The passing show continues. Now look out over this area. I got a black walnut tree there. And another that's been destroyed. Lightning strike, perhaps. I don't know. There's a lot of damage from storms lately. But we've got a lot of oxygen being produced by those plants that survive, including a poplar tree here. We're back. Let's see the incident pretty much under control. Just about all the fire trucks in the area have responded. It's really jammed up traffic at that intersection of Connecticut and the Calvert. Scooters, bicycles, a little gray, a light gray Corvette, a light blue. I can't really tell what color that is. Some of the black walnuts coming out. And our crossing of the Duke Ellington Bridge is underway. Washington's rescue squad is back towards wherever it needs to go. Some of our emergency response folks there. You see the Tash Bridge in the distance. Traffic on Rock Creek Park or Cathedral. I think that's Rock Creek, though. I don't know. Whew. Hot on the bridge, I can tell you that, right in the direct sun. Coming in behind and above. But I got a hat. And I've got a shirt to protect me from the rays. You can see the creek itself down below, flowing ever onward into the Potomac. Fresh water, as fresh as it gets anyway. Sure, it's carrying some pollutants down there too. But overall, is what it is. We're gonna go on past the forest growing along the hillside, cutting down Biltmore Street, heading back for home. I think we've gotten enough vitamin D for one day. A lot of information being pulled in to the servers out there, pushed out on various frequencies. And here we go. Let's take this way. Down through the forest, past the oak trees, past a redbud, laden down the seeds. They kind of like pea pods. Redbud seeds are. I'm coming around. Watching the roots. Another oak passing under. A reminder of the evolution of plant life. Generations upon generations have come and gone along this slope. I'll follow the path onto Connecticut Avenue. Eventually, scaring up some mourning doves. There were three. Makes me worry for the fourth. They're resting on the leaves on the branches. Down below, I'm making my way on a dirt footpath. It's a bit of a road less traveled. Again, going into direct sun and out of it into the shade. Temperature drops a couple degrees. Little breeze kicks up. Crossing carefully. Brickbats abound. All with stones. And the forest floor. Vines. You can bet you've got reptiles, small mammals, the occasional robin. There's a dead robin in the front yard at Best Street Northwest. Sad to see that. I don't think I had anything to do with it, but then again, everything is interconnected. And we look over this way at a gum, I believe, conifer of some form. Hey, hi, puppy. You're beautiful. Yes, you are. Great dogs. It's that little German Shepherd puppy. And we're coming up on one of the side streets that goes up to Connecticut Avenue. I have a choice here. I could go one of two directions. I think the last time I went to the right, I don't know if I should go to the left or not. What time have I got? 2:55. It's debatable. I think I'm going to go to the right. Left. Left. By the right. The little pup. Pretty much ignoring me. Gotta mark the spots. Definitely gotta watch my step along here. That's Belmont. Belmont were to continue all the way through past the Chinese ambassadors or Chinese embassies, residences, would connect with Belmont on the other side. And I mentioned earlier, Barack Obama lives in Belmont. But in this case, it's cut off by the park and doesn't continue after a point across the way behind the embassy of China's residence. It's right over yonder. You can just see its brick facade on this side, the old facade of the building, which was preserved in its days as an apartment building. Instead, we're going to turn toward the east and make our way down towards Colorado Park, but we're not going to go that far. We're going to turn. Actually, that's debatable whether we continue on Belmont or turn again. On 20th, I think that's what that car is just turned on to. 20th Street, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not positive that's what it is. People really want to take the shortest route possible. Oh, that's right. This is not 20th. This is Ashmead Place. And that is 20th ahead. Ashmead Place goes up over. And again, you can get a good look at the redbuds seed pods here. A ginkgo tree, young one. They live a long time. The species itself has been around since dinosaurs. Yeah, that's 20th. We're going to go an uphill climb here. Uphill incline. And raise at least my height. Probably a little more. Nice stained glass torches on this house. Across the way, one of the fine properties of Washington for sale. 2325, it looks like. Nice Porsche on that. Passing a daylily. Gaslight. That's steep. This climb is not for the faint of heart. I got my steps in. That's a big ginkgo there. Old one. Purple house. Beautiful walk. Glad I made it. Power's down to 40 something. Not bad. Studio apartment available here on 20th Street. Between Colorama and Belmont. Colorama Road. Oh, I'm gonna turn. Look at the stately apartment buildings. Beautiful gardens along the way. They've got a stop sign now. I always like to take a look at who, what, when, and where. The canal and the Nota. Santa Mendota. Love the details and the gardens. Beautiful. 2210. Great American Home Award winner in 1994. Okay. Backside of some of the buildings that face out onto Columbia Road. Ah, lovely. And there's our ginkgo biloba. 2200 20th Street. Crossing of Wyoming. Near the Galmark Towers. 1930. Columbia Road. And I'm going to intersect with it just down the way. Come down past the construction going on the Universal building. That was Gabonese Republic Embassy. Gabonese ambassador, perhaps. I don't know. I'm going to go out into the road. And oncoming traffic is supposed to stop, but I don't know if they will or not. Definitely needed to cross the road. That is Charlotte Arms, though. 1954 Columbia Road. Here's the Oakland 2006 Columbia. Across the road, other beautiful examples of the architecture of the neighborhood. And here we have some of our great petunias, lantana as well, adding a splash of color. And down the way, further examples of our architecture, the Churchill Hotel in the distance. This is the Wyoming, former home of Christopher Hitchens. Up at the top was this penthouse, looked out onto the monument for General McClellan. There's a good YouTube of Christopher giving a tour from the windows of this neighborhood. Grateful to have been his neighbor for at least a year before his death from cancer of the esophagus. Took him out was hoping he'd beat it. He didn't. That often happens. Stage 4 is there is no stage 5. But it can happen. You need to be careful of that. So I do take my antacids to the extent I'm able in hopes of avoiding it. That dog coming down, making terrible noises. They've taken out a tree here. Looks like it was rotted off anyway. And here's a look at the construction and its current state and the people doing it. Who, what, when, and where? Washington, D.C. The ongoing transformation of the landscape, of which we are so adept as a species. The monument to General McClellan in the distance here, coming into view fully. A lot of bronze there. Hotel Rendale, next to the Churchill Hotel. And down the slope, we have the St. Margaret's Episcopal Church. Helicopter crossing looks like a DC police helicopter. There it goes. Another scooter car coming out. It's all a matter of who, what, when, and where, folks. We are all weaving history. This is a Hinckley Hilton, as we call it, where John Hinckley attempted to assassinate Ronald Reagan back in the spring of 1981, my senior year in high school. He ended up living in the neighborhood I was in at the time, Kingsmill on the James, where his parents had settled and to which he was released to his mother's care back in many years ago. My father was still around. My father would see Hinckley on his walks wearing a blue ankle bracelet, illuminated, tracking. My father would speak, but Hinckley never spoke back. It's a small world, crisscrossing each other's paths, from Christopher Hitchens to John Hinckley to my father to me to all of us weaving history together. The threads of our lives making an enormous tapestry, brief flashes on the surface of eternity that we are. And here you see the effects of DNA on the environment from the standpipes along the way, fire department, facility. You see something's happened here. Wonder what that is. Washington Sports Club was here. Soho Cafe and Market's been gone a while. The last thing to leave was Walgreens. God's love has no borders, says St. Margaret's Episcopal Church. And scooters, Hyundais, Volkswagens, another Hyundai, a Honda. There's a Chevrolet truck, Silverado. It's been hauling a trailer up here in the construction. Metro bus. Alert DC, stay informed, stay safe, sign up at alertdc.gov. And Toyota, Ford, Honda, Toyota, GMC, Honda, Hyundai, and Mazda. No, Toyota, sorry. Happy 250th America. Justice never gets old. Morgan and Morgan would like to remind you. Dial hashtag law for the people.com. So it goes. So bits of a biography are woven together into the tapestry you see ahead of you, behind you, everywhere, really. Swing around to where Walgreens used to be. Pico de Beppo used to be above it, where I had my rehearsal dinner on May the 2nd, 2008. 8. It's delightful, really. Let's see, we can't cross. Yeah. So after the green light changes for these guys coming on, Chevrolet, Mini Cooper, Honda, bicycle, Honda, Toyota, Mazda, Honda, Toyota, Mercedes, Nissan? I don't know what that is. Hyundai, I know. Volkswagen, Ford, and Tesla. We are going to cross, I think, in a moment. Is that Nissan really stopped? Apparently not. I can go. Setting off, tell you, 32 seconds, 31, 30, 29. Another Nissan. Oxford, Argentina territory there. Kasha, a dog. Looks like a Labradoodle. Or a Golden Doodle. Golden Doodle? Maybe. We got short. Happy hour at McClellan's Retreat, 4 to 6. Celebrating the 250th. White and blue and rainbow. And over here, lots of vehicles. Lots and lots. 311, I can cool off for a minute. Told you there was a dead robin by our gate. That can't be a good selling point, poor thing. And I'm doing my best I can with what I have. I hope I don't get in trouble for pointing out something that I shouldn't have to point out. But it is what it is. We'll find out. So that was a good walk. Hope you all enjoyed it. 3 questions deep joined. And see, Tim's not many others joined, so that's fine.